so I know the Leafs won 7-1 and the game ended a little while ago and you're trying to prep for the video.
Yes.
But the Leafs actually just made it 8-1. Let's go!
Good. We all feel good.
Stop! Never gets rusty!
What am I doing?
Into my kitchen! Producer Drew, can you fix all this?
And when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, you can crumple, yeet! Saw that going differently. With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR.
Victory puppies, buddy! Iggy is coming to expect it. The final horn went, he demanded to be let outside, and then he knew it was treat time. Let's see how the old voice lasts for this one. Whoop, not a good start. Leafs win! 7-1 over the San Jose... over the San Jose Sharks. If you need your voice after you've lost it, you just go deeper. I'm Ron Burgundy. And then if I go up, I'm Anyway, it's terrible. Hey, this episode of LFR, Leafs Fan Reaction, is brought to you by nobody. And that's silly. Hey, there's still over half a season left, a lot of exciting games left to play, the trade deadline, the playoffs. If you want to get in front of some of the biggest fans in the whole world, hit us up. Geez, I didn't even mention the All-Star game. Hey, if you're interested in advertising with LFR or anything on SDPN, link down below in the description. Because we have to pay the bills and I figured everyone would be in a happy mood after that win. Dude, first of all, shout out Dr. Rahim for seeing me today so that I would have a voice for this video. I woke up Monday and it was bad. Then Nylander signed, made a video for this channel and it got worse. And then I recorded a podcast and it got worse. And since the Leafs brutalized, absolutely pulverized the San Jose Sharks in this one, I figured this video could be a little bit more of a conversation and I can answer some more questions. I do want to highlight some of the most fun things that happened, but first, the Sharks truther. Here's the truth. That team needs help. Dude, we've talked about Sharks truther in these videos on the podcast at length. Listen, the Sharks lost, I think it was 11. They went 0-10-1 to start the season. It was horrible, and all anyone wanted to talk about was how horrible they were, and it ended with allowing 10 goals in back-to-back games. Bad. Not spread over back-to-back games. It was 20 goals. Then they went on this ridiculously fun streak of a few weeks where they won all these games. They were playing at roughly a competitive playoff-ish pace and a bunch of comeback wins. Dude, they were down 3 goals on the Islanders. They came back and won in overtime. That rules. The Leafs thumped them pretty good on Saturday. This was sad. The only thing that was worse was head coach David Quinn's quotes after the game. That's depressing. He said this: "Losing's hard. I don't care what anyone tells you. Guys can stand in front of this camera and the microphone and everybody asks questions and you want answers, and I get it. Everybody's got a job to do. But boy, is losing effing hard. It wears on you. Unless you've gone through it, Leafs fans, it's really difficult to explain to anyone. It really is. When you effing lose, it's hard. It wears on you day and night, 24/7. It's not done, by the way. And I get you've got to ask the questions. You do, but it's hard. It takes a special mindset to get out of what we're in, and we're going to get out of it. Hopefully it happens in Montreal." Dude, that's not even the worst quote. And with quotes like that, I don't know if David Quinn is going to be the head coach in Montreal. On Saturday, I said that the San Jose Sharks, at very least looked cohesive. It's just their execution was bad. In this thing, everything was bad. You know how as Leafs fans, we live in constant fear that they will play down to their opponents and lose? Not that there's an abundance of evidence to support that fact. Chicago, Columbus, Buffalo, Ottawa. But this game was the Leafs beating a team that was frankly playing in a different league. Henry Thrun got his first career NHL goal. That was pretty cool, and that was the only bit of good news from this game for the Sharks. Producer Drew, maybe you can put the stat bar right here at my chest. This is the comparison between the Blackhawks and the Sharks. The Blackhawks are the top team, the Sharks are the bottom team. The Sharks are minus 90 in terms of goal differential. The Blackhawks, minus 57 is terrible. It is terrible at this point in the season, and they're nowhere near the Sharks. The Sharks are almost twice as bad. The Blackhawks won their last game, which is pretty cool. The Sharks, it shows their last 10. It's simply 0-10-0. But you look next to that, they've lost 12 straight. Their losing streak is too long for the last 10 games graphic to show. So when I was doing the whole Sharks truther thing and I was talking about how good they were,
All those 21 points came during that stretch. Here's a problem that was a month ago! To put it into recent terms, do you remember that awful Colorado Avalanche team? And I think it was the 2016-17 season. Calvin Pickard was their starting goalie. Everybody got hurt. They had 47 points. 48 or something like that. It was less than 50. This Sharks team is on pace for several wins less than that. This stat from JFresh doesn't even look real. Tonight's 7-1 loss gives the San Jose Sharks a 32.5% goal share at the halfway mark of the season. That is the worst a team has done in its first 41 games since the 92-93 Ottawa Senators at 31.6%, and the second worst mark since 1979. One of the teams on this list is the 91-92 Sharks, which I'm pretty sure is the inaugural San Jose Sharks, an expansion team, and they would obliterate this team. All right, Steve, they're bad. What's the point? Here's the point. There is still a point in tanking. Even though there's a lottery now, it still makes sense to tank. You got to put yourself in the conversation to at least put yourself in the top 5, top 4 if you finish last. Then maybe you win one of the lotteries, you get the third, the second, or the first pick, and then you get Max Celebrini, and then you're happy. But dude, the Sharks have pieces of their future on their team right now. Zetterlund and Eklund. They have to play hockey with dignity. You know what the 15-16 Leafs were? Last place. You know what they also were? Watchable. This San Jose Sharks team is on pace to finish something like 15 or 16 wins behind the Leafs team that finished last to get the Matthews in 2016. It's okay to tank. It's okay to get yourself in a position to get a great draft pick. You cannot have a culture of losing. Not a culture of losing like that. Between shots on goal and block shots, the Leafs outshot the Sharks 67-30. So one more time from this Sharks truther, the truth is they need help, and they need help now. And there's no easy solution there. As for the Leafs, hey, they scored 7 goals! That was a big old bunch of fun. What makes it even more hilarious is apparently some of them are sick. Noah Gregor not in the lineup because he was battling some sort of illness. Nick Robertson gets in. Pontus Holmberg also in the lineup. Which one of them will score? The answer was both. I wanted to highlight a few goals because the visuals were hilarious. First, we have the 1-0 goal from Morgan Rielly. Here is the very little tiny bit of the corner that he had to shoot at on Kaapo Kähkönen. Look at the nightmare that Tyler Bertuzzi is being in front. Gosh, I love this player. Next is the first goal from Mitch Marner because he had a pair in this one. He had 4 points in this one. This chop tip. Dude, he's had an up and down season where some nights he's fighting it, other nights he looks like a magician. This is so effortless. How do you do this on purpose? I'm just going to chop at the puck with the heel of my stick and it's going to go up and where I want it to on a sharp angle. You're gross. Then the goal to make it 4-0. Pontus Holmberg's first of the season. Ew. David Kampf in his own zone sends it to the neutral zone to Bobby McMann, who sends it to Pontus Holmberg in the offensive zone. This is the moment Pontus Holmberg gets the puck on his stick. He is fighting off Burrows with his left hand, which is his bottom hand because he's a lefty, and he's handling the puck with his right hand, his top hand. Well, surely Pontus Holmberg is going to want to get his bottom hand on that stick so he can take a good shot. Nope! From the moment he got the puck from Bobby McMann to the moment he scored the goal, Pontus Holmberg's left hand, his bottom hand, never touches his stick. They said this is a one-handed goal. This is a true one-handed goal. At no moment did he have 2 hands on his stick. And it's not even a cheeky little Forsberg. Look at this. He forehands it. You're gross! And the Sharks pull Kähkönen after that. It's so early in the second, and you see from his reaction, he's like, yeah, I'm done after this. Couple other things I wanted to highlight. Mitch Marner on the bench, especially reacting with William Nylander, is hilarious. It's made even better that when you find out at intermission, Mitch Marner was interviewed and he called Pontus Holmberg his favorite NHL player. Fun Mitch is the funnest. McCabe scored a goal. He's looked great. Benoit had his nose possibly broken, and then he had a big hit anyway. Robertson had a goal, which I know felt great. Who cares if it was on the power play to make it 7-1? And Martin Jones just continues to be straight up good. Absolutely nothing to even nitpick from the Leafs in this one. It was ridiculous. Bobby McMann played something like 13 minutes Everyone on D played a ton. Benoit played 17 plus minutes, and he would have played more had he not gone off for repairs. I don't want to be insulting to the San Jose Sharks, but the Leafs basically got the night off. It was ridiculous. And they allowed that goal when it was 4-0 to make it 4-1. But I was happy that during this game, unlike other games that we've seen, the Leafs remembered that the gas is on the right. They just kept it down, and the Sharks couldn't do a thing about it. Questions. We'll start with something that isn't a question, but it is something that I want to highlight and make part of a bigger conversation. From NHL PR, Mitch Marner with 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points, boosted his career point total to 598. So he's 2 points away from 600, and surpassed Frank Mahovlich, who had 597, for sole possession of 7th most in Maple Leafs history. There's also a bonus graphic that shows Mitch Marner now has 16 4-point games to pass Mahovlich, and he's got 10 more to go to catch Sittler, and honestly, if the Leafs played the Sharks enough times this season, I think he'd break it. And of course, here he is with the Leafs championship belt after the game with John Tavares. Smiles all around. Again, there's nothing to even nitpick with this one. Here's the important conversation I think we need to have with Mitch Marner. William Nylander signed his contract, 11.5 times 8 years, and immediately a lot of people went to Mitch. Now, on the podcast, we had that discussion. You know, okay, you've signed Willie. It's great that you have Willie. He's going to be a Leaf probably for life. What do you do with the rest of the guys? I think it's important to have that conversation, but for me, I've had that conversation. I'm just not interested in talking about what happens next there, because what are we going to do? It just every day, every game, until we figure out what happens a year and a half from now? No! And throw Tavares into that conversation too? No, that makes me sick! Listen, it's relevant to talk about Mitch in the future. What's he going to sign for? Can you trade him? An extension, etc., etc. I don't want to have it every day. I talked about it. That is it. And until it becomes relevant again, I am done with it. The other thing is Mitch Marner's complicated identity and place within Leaf fandom right now. Now, I know a bunch of you are Marner hardcore fans, and maybe you don't even know what I'm talking about. A lot of people who cheer for this team and a lot of people who watch these videos don't like Mitch Marner, straight up. I was gonna sugarcoat that. No, you just don't like him. And listen, you're always gonna have favorites on teams and players that drive you nuts. We've all talked about Alex Kerfoot, who's doing incredibly, by the way. Pierre Engvall, Justin Hall's found a nice little home in Detroit. And the salary cap makes it so that it's not just about what a player accomplishes, it's were they good value while they made those accomplishments. Like, okay, you scored 80 points, but you were being paid 90-point money. I think there's a place for valid criticism. You can criticize guys. Not everyone on the team has to be your favorite player. But I have my eyes on a lot of stuff in Leaf fandom. You'd be amazed at the stuff that I read. And to me, a lot of fans have gotten to a weird, toxic place with Mitch Marner, and I'd like it to stop. Like, if he has a bad game, it's fine. That's fine. That's valid criticism. But this guy's like catching strays on a daily basis, and I'm like, okay, do you like the team, man? Not all of you are gonna know what this is, but a lot of Chronically Online people are. The stuff with John Tavares' dad celebrating him getting his 1,000th point on Long Island. Within that video, you see Mitch Marner's dad have like a muted celebration, and people are just carving the dude. Guys, we don't need to do all that. We don't need to do all that. Whether you love him, you hate him, you want him to be a Leaf for life, or you think he's way overpaid, Mitch Marner is a Toronto Maple Leaf. Mitch Marner is a damn good Toronto Maple Leaf. You should appreciate him if you cheer for the Toronto Maple Leafs. You should appreciate him for what he is. You should appreciate him for his place in Leafs history. Can the Leafs afford to have 4 guys who make this much money forever? I've been pretty open about the fact that I don't think they can. But when the team is cruising along on a 4-game win streak and just beat the brakes off a team 7-1, all I want to talk about is how great the team that I cheer for performed. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. I hope I got my voice back. Link in the description down below if you want to advertise on LFR, advertise with SDPN. Link in the description. We'd love to have you as part of the team. And podcast from Monday reacting to the Nylander extension. CJ show from Monday reacting to the Nylander extension. And then tomorrow we got a brand new podcast where we're going to talk about this whole kerfuffle with Cutter Gauthier. That is one of the most ridiculous stories in the NHL right now.